In memory of Daddy, who laid the foundation for this furious uprising. Yeah, this isn't just a song, it's our war. Tell it the hill is in the building, no bullshit, only raw truth.
Hey y'all, I just was going through some old stuff and I'm just really bothered by our justice system at the moment, and I just thought that this clip, or well, it's a clip, but I chopped it up into many little clips, and I just thought it's just a shame that Ann Taylor, every hearing that we've seen, it's like she just can't win no matter what. Even if she's right, she cannot win. And what do you call a judge like that? Well, I would call him biased, but I don't know. Just check it out. Let me know your thoughts.
Answer your question there. If the magistrate judge had been told there's unknown male B in blood in the house attached to the handrail, that might have made more of a difference to her. Maybe a sheath that can be carried to the house and blood in the house that's not the same, maybe that matters. And then maybe the car being completely empty of any blood DNA connection, maybe that matters a little bit more.
Well, I'm just not sure why it matters for a probable cause, but I think we're talking over each other, so I'll let you just go on.
Is it just me, or is anyone else super annoyed at this point at how Hippler degrades Ann Taylor?
Okay. I don't think probable cause is in a vacuum. I think probable cause isn't one thing. I hope it's not one thing. I hope there has to be a little bit more than one thing, especially when you've got another thing that's the same as the one thing.
Well, I said I wouldn't do this, but I'm going to do it anyway because you brought up blood DNA of an unknown individual that was found, I think, on the handrail.
Yes.
Who wouldn't bring that DNA up, Your Honor?
Doesn't that necessarily not exclude Mr. Coburg? What it may do is suggest there might be a potential other person in addition involved if you assume that that blood was related to the victims and not some earlier event in the house.
I'd say no. Well, who knows, Your Honor, considering the two surviving witnesses or accomplices, you know, they seemingly love to play with big knives. You know, like machetes and shit. You know, they also like to wear masks. So who knows what went on in that house, Your Honor. But I would say, you know, my client, as his life is on the line, I think he has the right to a fair and just trial. And we need to know whose blood that is.
If what the court is saying is exactly why the magistrate needed to know that. Is there another explanation here? I've got this sheath, but there are all these other things that if I know about them, matter.
Right. Like, you know, if the PCA wasn't full of total lies, bunch of BS, and, you know, we all know at this point it's lie after lie after lie, right? So, and maybe had these two actually been looked at and the truth been told, maybe the magistrate would have, you know, handled things a little differently. But now it's your turn to do that, Your Honor.
What's the other explanation? What's going on with this investigation? What's happening here? That's exactly the point, Your Honor. What other explanation is there? The magistrate wasn't given a chance to ask that.
Like, y'all, what is he not understanding? Or is he, and he's just playing stupid?
She wasn't given a chance to ask that when she wasn't told about unknown male B, blood on the handrail. She wasn't given a chance to ask about that when she wasn't told about unknown male D, blood on a glove right outside the residence. She wasn't given a chance to ask any of those questions.
I mean, one must ask themselves, what's with all the shady AF stuff since day one? If she was told the truth, then we could all trust the PCA, right? But lie after lie after lie in the PCA. So what is Dylan's alibi? Like, seriously, where was Dylan that night? Like, the whole night? Who was with her? And why was it such a question of where Ethan and Xana were when Bethany knew the entirety of the
She
time?
didn't know that Brian's car, and the court's question, good question, what does that mean? Could it mean there's more than one person? The answer to that is, or it could mean it's not Brian because his car's got nothing in it and there were only 13 minutes to do this. The magistrate didn't get to know that.
In fact, his DNA is still on the knife sheath, though. That's the problem.
Your Honor, I think I'm not even going to say sorry because I think you need to learn the facts of the case, and then we can maybe come back and discuss this further. Okay? And when you decide to not let these shenanigans continue and do the right thing, then maybe we should reconvene at that point, Your Honor, because the DNA is a monster in and of itself. And unless you want to understand it and really know the truth, then it won't matter anyways. But the state decided it wanted to kill a man, and this is their man, my client. That's what I would say to this freaking judge. And by the way, did he just freaking laugh before he started to speak? That's so not proper.
For probable cause purposes.
If that's the only thing she's told, I can see why she'd find probable cause. It's these other things that are withheld that create a context around it. I think the purpose of Frank's is to ask this very question. This is a question. What do we want to do with our criminal justice system? Do we want to have one thing with no context around it when there's this other context that really matters?
Applying the Frank standard, which is even if you add that stuff, does that take away probable cause, counsel? And my problem is once you have a direct DNA tie to the defendant, for purposes of probable cause, this isn't for purposes of conviction, for purposes of probable cause, you have not explained to me why a reasonable magistrate, let alone any magistrate, wouldn't find probable cause there, even if they knew all those other facts.
What about the more important facts, like, the blood DNA or the DNA under Maddie's fingers? What about the real facts in this case, Your Honor?
As to Mr. Koberger, now, there may be, as you say, other people that creates concern or issues about that need to be investigated further.
Your Honor, if your life were on the line and this was the case and there was real DNA, I think you would agree that needs to be investigated much further. And truthfully, it's mind-blowing. And I don't know about y'all, but if that was my child with, male DNA under her fingernails, would you not want to know who else DNA was at that house? Brian Koberger, guilty or not guilty, as a parent, I would assume you would be doing everything you could to find that information out.
But I'm not sure that that diminishes the probable cause as to Mr. Koberger if his DNA is found on a knife sheath found on or near the victim.
I would really love Hippler to do a DNA test because he seems to think it's just so, like some nonchalant thing and it's his DNA and blah, blah, blah. Hippler, go do a DNA test and tell me you're not related to said individuals that I've already named prior.
Who was stabbed with said alleged knife that would have been in said alleged sheath.
Is justice ever coming in this case? I just thought I would share my thoughts on this because I was going back through my phone and all of my saved stuff from the last 2.5 years, and I'm just so annoyed with this case, and I just can't believe that Ann Taylor has had such a struggle, and it's a shame because this is not justice, and it's just like she's defeated no matter how hard she tries, no matter what they say, no matter what they do. It's like Jay Logsdon said long ago, the state decided they wanted to kill a guy, and Brian's their guy, basically. And that's just not okay. So I don't know, but I hope you guys had a wonderful weekend. Let me know your thoughts. I hope to be live sometime soon this week, and I just appreciate each and every one of you. And I do hope that our voice does matter, and I guess we shall see with this case, right? I'm just blown away every day when I think about the injustice that is occurring just blatantly in front of our faces. But anyways, y'all, please be sure to hit the like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Appreciate each and every one of you. Hope to be live soon. And I guess that's it for now. Until next time, y'all stay safe and talk soon. Love y'all.
Bullshit, only raw truth. We ride or die for every soul neglected, every secret kept. Turn up the bass and let our explicit message shatter the silence. Haters, your venom only makes our fire burn hotter. It's time to expose the rod. It's time for real talk. Step up or step aside, cause the revolution just began. Step into the arena where deception meets its end. Truths are heavy artillery, no facade, no pretend. She's the lion, it's roaring against the night.